Hello everyone, welcome to the Bug Warrior. What a weekend! Last night I was able to finally clear Act 1 from Path of Exile 2. And please let me begin by telling all of you that this game is extremely difficult. The mobs at the levels can kill you if you're not careful, and even some elites, but the true challenge here are the bosses of every level. In this video, we will look at the top 7 most difficult bosses to beat in Act 1, and I will give you some advice on what to do as best as possible, because again, this is a game of being patient and taking it easy, so let's get to it. Number 7. Beira of the Rotten Pack at Clearfell. Shortly after you exit the Clearfell camp, you will encounter this ice witch that is easy to spot as she's singing her creepy song. What makes her so challenging is that you're just getting started, so you will probably be level 2 or 3 and Beira will throw at you several ice spells. One of those attacks is very fast, so you need to move quickly to dodge those attacks. To make things worse, she summons, of course, a pack of wolves, so you need to take care of them while you survive Beira's attacks. This boss is completely optional, which means you can engage or not, but if you do select to engage, you get some rewards that are worth it, so because of this many players do choose to fight her. If you do decide to face her, know that you can kill her despite being low level. My advice here is to keep moving, try to clear the pack of wolves as fast as possible, and then fire with all you got until she's down. Killing her will reward you with the head of the Winter Wolf, an item that grants cold resistance. Number 6. Draven, the Eternal Praetor. Shortly after you arrive to the graveyard, you will encounter another NPC, which is Lachlann the Lost. He asks of you to find the keys to open a gate guarded by the spirits of a couple. And for that you will need to enter a tomb and a mausoleum. Inside the mausoleum you will encounter Draven, which is resistant to fire but most of all is heavily armored. So you need something that breaks armor to begin with. Draven has several attacks. He charges at you with his sword, but can also fire spells from his blade. When Draven is below 66% health, he will summon Asinia, which is her partner, to help him, and here things can get crazy. So my advice is to keep moving, ignore Asinia as much as possible, and focus all your fire on Draven to take him out as quickly as you can. Number 5. Asinia, the Praetor's Consort. So she is the other part of the equation on getting the keys for the Sorrow Among Stones primary quest. Like her counterpart, also has a heavy armor, so once again you need to get rid of her armor first. However, she has many spells that seem to cover the whole screen, so in this particular fight you need to move extremely well. When she gets below 66% health, she will also call upon Draven, her companion, and even if you already took care of him, he will appear. The worst is that she throws at you a bone prison. When this happens, it's your priority to break the prison first and start moving again. Like the previous battle, ignore Draven and focus on killing Asinia as quickly as possible. Number 4. Lachlann the Lost. After defeating both Draven and Asinia, you open the gate and Lachlann finds out that his family is dead. This makes the spirit become so angry that it transforms into one of the hardest bosses in Act 1. First of all, Lachlann the Lost is big. What makes it difficult is that Lachlann has a spell that can freeze you, making it hard to move, and when that happens, he can slam his right arm at you. If he hits you, then you will immediately die. The key to defeat him is good positioning, so you can use the graveyard in the middle to either hit and run, or hit from far away and then hide and take advantage of his only weakness, which is moving slow. Number 3. The Executioner. This guy can be found at Oakham Village, and he has some lethal slam abilities. He doesn't seem hard at first, moves very slow because of his size, however if he gets you then you can die immediately. This one is a bit difficult also depending on the class you're playing, as he can throw his guillotine at you from the sky, and to make things worse, he constantly summons minions. My advice here is to keep moving, ignore the minions, and focus fire on the Executioner from far away. If you are a melee class, and then this fight will probably take longer as you need to hit and then run away, find a good position once again, and then repeat. Number 2. The King in the Mists. Found above the hunting grounds, you find this area that is composed of narrow wooden walkways and filled with dangerous ritual enemies. There are some witches that you will immediately learn from them, because they throw these like purple spells, these purple bombs that when they explode you will die immediately. This place is home to the King in the Mists. You need to search and cleanse 3 altars before being able to activate the main one in this zone, and then you can summon the King in the Mists. This guy is no joke. He has several spells, from red boiling blood pools to some purple bombs. What makes it very complicated is that the King has 2 spells that debuff you. Depending on the color of the spell, you will learn what's going on. If the debuff color is purple, you need to keep moving, or else you will be frozen. If you are frozen, obviously the spells will hit you and you will die. If the debuff color is red, then you need to stop completely moving. You can attack, but you cannot move. So here it gets really tricky, because if you're too close to the King, he will slam at you and you will die. Or if you stop very near to a spell, then you will also die. So here a bit of luck on stopping at the right spot is needed. However, killing this guy gives you many rewards that it makes the fight really worth it. So be patient. I did die many times against this guy, but the rewards are worth it, so don't give up. Number 1. Count Geonor. Well, this guy isn't optional, as you need to kill him to end Act 1 and then move to Act 2. The problem here is that this is a very difficult fight. You will die many times to learn the mechanics and eventually kill him. The first thing you need to know is that you need to come ready for this fight. That means having the best gear possible, every extra thing that gives you an edge, such as getting more life by killing the optional boss Candlemas, which you can find early, just before finding the count. For me, it got so crazy that I even had to spend all my gold and gamble to find a better weapon and an amulet. There are 2 things that are a must before you even attempt to find the count. The first one is that you need to be level 16 at the very least, and you need to have the Greater Flask of Life. This guy made me remember a video game called Limbo, where you needed to die in order to progress and move forward, because you learn from every death. And this is exactly what happened to me. Count Geonor is a 2-phase fight. The first one, you will be fighting his human form, which isn't that bad, but once he morphs into the wolf, there is a phase when the whole arena becomes full of fog, and here is where things get complicated. The problem is that this is a long fight, so you will run out of life flask very soon. The only way to recharge those flasks is by killing the wolves that will spawn during the fog phase. This means that not only you need to stay alive in the very narrow space, but you also need to crowd control and kill fast the pack of wolves so you can refill your flask. To make things worse, the count charges at you every 4 seconds from within the fog. This is the hardest part by far. You need to master these mechanics. For me, since I'm playing with Mercenary, you can see I was throwing grenades at the floor before any werewolf appeared. I was counting in my head the 4 seconds to anticipate the count's charge, and I even used frozen balls to slow down the pack. You need to combine basically everything you have learned in Act 1, otherwise you will die. To make it even more difficult, you will probably need to survive and repeat this phase 2 or 3 times, which makes it very frustrating and very hard. You will get angry at times, so my best advice is don't give up and be very patient. I even had to take a break. I was about to rage quit, but breathe, take it easy and then come back. Eventually you will do it, and once dead, that's it for Act 1. You can go ahead and celebrate and move on. Path of Exile 2, it's really hard. They weren't joking when they mentioned that it was going to be something close to Dark Souls, The Witcher 3, and they did it. So once again, take it easy. But on the bright side, this is actually good for the game, so I hope they don't nerf the difficulty in the future. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you like it and that it helps you. As you can see, Path of Exile 2 is a difficult game, so if you decide to play, be ready for that. Take your time. This game for sure isn't a sprint, it's more of a marathon. Take it easy, have fun, and I will see you in the next video.